Hello everyone, welcome to my video. Today I will take you through the provisions of section 194Q of the Income Tax Act. This section deals with TDS on purchase of goods and is applicable from 1st July 2021. Before I start this video, I wish to convey an important message. If you have not understood the provisions of this section, you may be messing up. It will end up you in doing non-compliance of the TDS provisions and the results will be massive. Even it can backfire on your career despite the fact your other skills are out of the world. So don't mess it up further and listen the video very carefully till the end. In this video you will get to know the holistic overview of the provisions of section 194Q in a very simple and pragmatic manner. Hopefully, by end of the day, you will become an effective TDS deductor and will not do mistakes in terms of compliance under section 194Q of the Act. So the point that I want to drive home here is very simple, that in the corporate space, it is very much important to be mindful the way you handle the tax compliance because it can set the tone of your entire career. So first and foremost thing that goes without saying is that a buyer, be it a resident or a non-resident, is now liable to deduct TDS on purchase of goods from a resident seller, irrespective of the purpose for which goods are purchased, be it the goods purchased for use as raw material during production process or for consumption in the business or for use in the business as an asset or for resale in the business of trading. Whatever the purpose be, it is the duty of the buyer to deduct TDS on purchase of goods. Here buyer is a person whose turnover in the business or profession is rupees 10 crore or more in last financial year. Turnover includes receipts from sale of goods and services both. But remember, non-business receipts are not included for this limit of rupees 10 crore. Please note that rate of TDS defined under this section is as low as 0.1%, which means a buyer will deduct TDS of 0.1% from the value of goods purchased while making payment to the seller. Let us understand this concept in a very simple manner in rupee terms. Suppose if you are a buyer and you purchase goods worth 1000 rupees. Then you will have to deduct rupee 1 on this every purchase amount of rupees 1000. This rupee 1 will be paid to the central government and the balance 999 rupees will be paid to the seller. However, this section also provides for exemption of rupees 50 lakhs and up to this amount no buyer is liable to deduct TDS. So TDS is deductible only on the payment or purchase made in excess of rupees 50 lakhs during the financial year from a particular seller, not on the entire purchase including first purchase of rupees 50 lakhs from a particular seller. So essentially, whether the buyer purchased goods worth rupees more than 50 lakhs during the financial year or gives advance of more than rupees 50 lakhs during the financial year for purchase of goods, in either of the circumstances, TDS is deductible by the buyer under section 194Q. Here the point to be noted is that this limit of rupees 50 lakhs will be reckoned from 1st April of the financial year. To understand this concept in more simplistic manner, let us illustrate this point with an example. Presumably, you are a buyer and you run your manufacturing unit of footwear somewhere in Agra, and your turnover from pure business activities in last financial year 2020 and 21 was rupees 10 crore. Now you are sitting in the month of July 2021 of financial year 2021 and 22. Mr. XYZ is a raw material supplied to your business. Now you place a purchase order on Mr. XYZ for leather raw material purchase required to manufacture footwear in your factory. Now presume till 30th June 2021, you have already purchased certain types of goods worth rupees 49 lakhs from this supplier, or either you have made payment of so much amount to this supplier for purchase of goods. Now on 1st July 2021, you purchase additional goods of rupees 5 lakhs. Since up to rupees 50 lakhs, there is no TDS, so TDS here will be deducted only on rupees 4 lakhs. Now I tell you how this figure of rupees 4 lakhs is derived. Sum total of rupees 49 lakhs and rupees 5 lakhs comes to rupees 54 lakhs. Now to give the first exemption of rupees 50 lakhs to this seller, we will deduct rupees 50 lakhs from this sum total of rupees 54 lakhs. Now this gives us rupees 4 lakhs on which TDS is deductible under section 194Q by the buyer. Let us say in the same example, if you have purchased or made payment up to 30th June 2021 of rupees 54 lakhs and goods purchased on 1st July 2021 are rupees 5 lakhs. Now TDS in this case will be deducted on the entire purchase amount of 5 lakhs made on 1st July 2021. Reason behind is that section 194Q was not applicable till 30th June 2021. So in this case, we will give the exemption of entire purchase amount of rupees 54 lakhs made up to 30th June 2021. This is a brief example on section 194Q to get you understood the simple concept of TDS on purchase of goods. Here one more thing need to understand is that the landed cost of goods purchased mentioned in the invoice should only be considered for deduction of TDS unless the expenses like insurance, freights, etc. are not agreed to be invoiced separately. Moving to the next level of discussion, in case buyer is a non-resident, it is required to deduct TDS only when purchase in any way is connected with any permanent establishment in India, which means if the buyer does not have any place of business or an office in India, TDS is not required to be deducted by such non-resident buyer. Further, from the plain reading of this section, it seems that even if the non-resident buyer has a place of business or an office in India, if the purchases made by such non-resident buyer are not meant for any place of business or an office in India, TDS under section 194Q is not required to be deducted by such non-resident buyer. But income tax department may here take a different stance, so you may take a professional advice on this point. Further, if the seller is a non-resident, TDS under this section 194Q need not be deducted, since this section applies only to the goods purchased from a resident seller. So this section does not apply if the seller is a non-resident. In this case, buyer needs to look at the applicability of section 195. Now you would say, hey Abhishek, is everything hunky-dory with you? What is this story of section 195 in between of section 194Q? So regarding this point, I would say this section 195 is another vast story. We cannot cover here this right now, and it is relevant only if we deal with non-resident supplier. But if you wish, I can make a separate video on this as well. Do let me know in the comment box if you want me to shoot a video on this topic as well. So moving to the next level of discussion, as already discussed, the rate of TDS under this section is 0.1%. But this rate will increase to 5% in a few circumstances. What are those circumstances? Please take a look. If the seller does not furnish a PAN number, or if the PAN number furnished by the seller is found invalid, if the seller is a non-filer of the income tax return as defined under section 206 AB of the Income Tax Act, or if the seller is an individual or proprietor and his PAN number is not linked with any Aadhaar number, in all such cases 5% TDS will be deducted. But remember, Aadhaar linking requirement is only applicable from 1st October 2021 unless this date is further extended by the central government. Now there are certain persons who are exempt from Aadhaar linking. In such cases, TDS will be deducted at the normal rate of 0.1% only. So you are not worried about in these notified cases. Moving on, let us let us understand the timing when the TDS will be deducted under section 194Q. TDS under this section is deductible the moment credit or payment is given to the seller, whichever is earlier. But in case where either of the events, credit or payment, has happened by 30th June 2021, TDS is not deductible at all. Credit here means creating a financial liability in the financial books of the buyer on purchase of goods. It doesn't matter what the GL account is used by the buyer to create a such financial liability in the financial books of the buyer. Next, TDS is not deductible on GST portion if the amount of GST is separately mentioned on the face of invoice or purchase agreement. Exception to this point is that if there is an advance payment before creating a financial liability in the financial books of the buyer, TDS will be deducted on the gross amount paid against such purchases. Moving on, let us understand the meaning of goods on purchase of which TDS is deductible under this section. So in general terms, all the movable things other than services and immovable properties which we see around us are goods. By service, we mean services rendered by like consultants, engineers, CA, CS, ICWA, works contractors and so on, and definitely not in the capacity as an employee. And by immovable property, we mean like land, building, immovable properties and so on. Let us now take a few examples of goods for better understanding. Furniture, computers, food supplies, motor vehicles, jewelry, bullion, gold, art, drawings, sculptures, scraps, software, material portion in a works contract are a few items of goods which may be subjected to TDS if rest other conditions of the section are satisfied. Now this brings us to the next level of discussion. Now you may be asking a question, hey Abhishek, now we have deducted TDS as per the mandate given by this section. Now how to deal this TDS deducted which we have right now available after deduction? So answer to this question is that you cannot keep this amount much longer with yourself. After deduction, this TDS amount has to be deposited with central government. Buyers can get it deposited online by filling 281 challan on the income tax portal. TDS is required to be deposited on monthly basis by 7th of the next month. So we can say that the entire TDS amount deducted in a month will be deposited in the next month by 7th. Exception to this narrative is that TDS deducted in the month of March can be deposited by 30th April. Now we shall discuss the point of software purchase with perspective of section 194Q. We all know that a buyer is not required to deduct TDS under section 194J/195 on purchase of software if the seller furnishes the necessary declaration to the buyer as required under notification number 21/2012. So based on the judgment of the Supreme Court held in the case of Engineering Analysis Center of Excellence Private Limited, anyone can take a view that TDS under section 194Q is also deductible on software purchase, since according to this judgment, licensing of software is akin to the sale of goods. So this could be a debatable point going ahead. A professional advice can be taken here. Regarding TDS on motor vehicle, whether old or new, this is important to mention here that we know that motor vehicles are good. So accordingly, if someone purchases motor vehicle, TDS under section 194Q must be deducted. But this narrative is not fully true. If purchase value of motor vehicle is rupees 10 lakhs or less, then only TDS under section 194Q gets attracted. Once the value of individual motor vehicle exceed rupees 10 lakhs, provisions of section 194Q are not applicable, and the seller here will collect TCS at the rate of 1% under section 206C1F from the buyer. Regarding electricity, energy, renewable certificates, shares, securities and commodities, similar thing needs to be noted is that though these are goods, but if these items are purchased on a recognized prescribed exchange, no TDS under section 194Q is required. Next point is regarding scraps generated in the course of manufacturing process. It is covered under TCS section 206C1E. So TDS under section 194Q is not applicable on such type of scrap. But remember, if any scrap is not generated out of manufacturing process, section 194Q is applicable. Next point, we know that TDS under section 194C is not deducted on the material portion of works contract if the item wise breakup of material portion of works contract is separately indicated on the invoice. Here a view can be taken that section 194Q also applies to the material portion. Now you would say why? Then the answer to this question is that though the material portion has been sold under the guise of works contract, it is still sale of movable property, that is goods. So professional opinion is advisable on this point as well. Moving on, if you are a buyer and you have begun your new business this year, TDS under this section is not applicable in the year of incorporation, since the requirement of 10 crore turnover in last financial year will not be met in such a case. Now you would say, what about restructuring of business? So in my opinion, restructuring of business like merger, reverse merger, reconstitution, renaming of business are different things and cannot be equated with incorporation of business. Here also, if required, you can take a professional opinion. Again, buyer is not required to deduct TDS if the seller is fully exempt from income tax. For example, entities like government, RBI, railways are fully exempt from income tax. So these entities are out of purview of TDS provisions. Please remember, this section speaks about fully exempt entities and persons. So if income of any person is person means if income of any seller is partly exempt from income tax, TDS is deductible under section 194Q. Last but not the least, if TDS under section 194Q from the buyer side as well as the TCS under section 206C1H from the seller side, both the sections get applicable in such a circumstances. TDS under section 194Q only be applicable, and remember, section 206C1H will not have any role to play. But if for some reason TCS under section 206C1H is first collected by the seller before the buyer could deduct TDS under section 194Q, buyer is here given relaxation by the department to not to deduct TDS in this case. But I warn you that in case of repeated non-compliance, income tax department may take a different view and the buyer may be penalized if the TDS is not deducted on repeated basis, despite the fact TCS is first collected and paid by the seller on such transaction. So bottom line of the story is that if you are a buyer and the last year's turnover in your business or profession is rupees 10 crore or more and you purchase goods from any seller worth rupees more than 50 lakhs during a financial year any time on or after 1st July 2021 in your business or profession, you are liable to deduct TDS on purchase value of the goods in excess of rupees 50 lakhs. So please remember, TDS is not deductible if goods are bought for personal use. So finally, if you like this video, please hit like and subscribe button. Likes are free, so don't hesitate, do it now. Thank you for watching.